How's everyone doing? I'm the Suited Whiskey Snob, here for another whiskey review. And mixing it up a little bit today, I'm actually going into a bourbon, a small batch bourbon, known to be quite a classic actually. It's the Knob Creek Small Batch Straight Kentucky Bourbon. And it's a damn good one, and it's 100 proof, so it's a little bit of a kick for sure. But so some of the history on bourbon is there's a couple things that it has to go through in order to be classified as a bourbon. One of them is the mash bill has to be consist of at least 51% corn, and it has to be aged in brand new American oak barrels, and it has to be made in Kentucky to be called a straight bourbon. And I believe to be a straight bourbon, it has to be 86 proof. That might be wrong. It might be higher, it might be lower. But yeah, I mean, bourbon is one of my favorite whiskeys, to be honest with you. I like the kind of the darker, heavier whiskey, the darker Scotch, like the Isla region and the Lowlands. And I definitely like the barrel spice that you get out of bourbon, because everybody knows in Kentucky it gets damn hot out there. It's the weather out there is absolutely perfect for pulling out the flavors from the barrels, and that's where you get this absolutely beautiful whiskey that you can only find in Kentucky. And actually some history on Knob Creek. So I believe this is a 9-year age statement whiskey. Knob Creek is a small batch, so small batch meaning they only make limited quantities in limited amount of barrels. Typically, I believe it's like 200 barrels for a small batch. And Knob Creek does age theirs 9 years in those barrels. And yeah, there's some history on Knob Creek for you. A lot of bourbons will only age it for 3 or 5 years. And this guy really pushes it with their 9-year age statement. But yeah, I mean, it's a very aggressive bottle. I mean, Knob Creek is by no means a light whiskey, and the bottle does a good representation of that. When you actually get Knob Creek, it comes with a wax layer, and you have to peel it off, and you end up with black crap all over your counter. It's a very rugged whiskey, and it's a very rugged look to it. But damn, is that a beautiful colored whiskey. That is absolutely amazing. Yeah, and something I'm noticing is there's a lot of bubbling going on with this. Oh, that's a pleasant whiskey on the nose. Very sweet, very candy corn on the nose. You definitely get the barrel spice as well, don't get me wrong, but definitely not harsh on the nose at all, which is unexpected for a 50%, 100 proof whiskey. It definitely doesn't come across on the nose as 100 proof. Oh yeah, that barrel spice is so pleasant. You get the heavy corn presence on here as well, and I want to say I'm noticing a high rye content. I feel like this is a high rye bourbon. I want to say I'm getting like a caramel peanut butter kind of on the nose as well. It's a very interesting whiskey on the nose. And isn't that beautiful? Isn't that just beautiful? The color of this 9-year aged bourbon is magnificent. You don't get that color anywhere else but Kentucky. You don't get that because of the way that it's aged and the way that the climate is there. It just pulls it out differently than anywhere else. But without further ado, I'm going to jump onto the palate because I honestly can't wait. Yeah, that's super sweet. You know, whenever you have something that's 50%, and when a lot of people think about bourbon, they think about harshness. They think that it's going to be too much to handle. They have to mix it with something. I really don't find that with bourbon. I actually enjoy it so much. You get, well, the barrel notes are amazing. It's the barrel spice you get is like you're chewing on a piece of oak or something, and very present. Everything's up front. and I want to say I'm getting banana cinnamon now. That's just very fruity and just sweet all around. That is a damn fine whiskey. And I believe this Knob Creek is actually part of Jim Beam. It's one of Jim Beam's small batch. I believe it's one of 4 Jim Beam's small batch bourbons. And damn, they did a fine job with this one, honestly. I don't know too much to do with the bourbon history, to be honest with you, but this is a damn fine whiskey. And like I said in the beginning of the video, the only thing I really like more the only thing that I would even put close to my love for Islay whiskey is bourbon. Honestly, I really like bourbon. I'd put it almost in the category of, for at least, for my favorites, I'd put it in the category right with the Islay. So that's interesting, and that's a really big point because they've been undefeated in my opinion in so long. For my own liking, they've really outstood it for so long, and bourbon is a close second to my favorite. It's just, you get so much out of bourbon that you can't get out of other whiskeys. It's kind of like the Islay whiskey, where you get the peated presence where you don't find that anywhere else. And it's a fun whiskey, honestly. It's a high proof, so if you want to get, drunk, it's a great whiskey for that, and it's gonna taste good while you're getting drunk as well. Mix it in an old fashioned, mix it with something, drink it straight, drink it on the rocks, however the hell you want it. Bourbon's great for everything. And yeah, this is a damn fine bourbon. I definitely suggest, if you haven't had Knob Creek and you like bourbon, get yourself some Knob Creek. It is absolutely amazing. Probably one of my favorite bourbons. And that's coming from a guy who's looking over there at Blanton's, Elijah Craig, Wild Turkey, Rare Breed. This guy right here, definitely one of the top ones. It's got a complexity that I don't really find in the other ones. The Elijah Craig is a close second in terms of complexity, but there's just a never-ending realm of what you can find in here. It's amazing. Yeah, it's definitely spicy. It starts off with like a creme brulee kind of start, very creamy and sweet, a little bit of fruit start, and then it goes into a heavy barrel spice, and then it lingers off into just a nice barrel spice. Nothing too heavy, nothing too crazy. It's just present. You feel like you were just in a sauna filled with, one of those wood saunas that have been in there forever. And, you kind of taste the wood when you're in those. That's kind of the aftertaste of this. You can definitely taste the woodiness in the palate. It lingers very much, and it's a very oily whiskey as well. Yeah, it leaves quite a bit of an oil ring on it. I mean, I believe bourbons tend to do that because of the grains that they use and everything, but geez, man, honestly, don't be scared away from bourbon because of the high alcohol content. It is absolutely amazing, and there's bourbon out there that you can drink straight, and it's gonna be just as pleasant as a Scotch or an Irish or whatever the hell you want to do. Definitely suggest, if you like bourbon and you want to try something that's kind of a step up from your regular Wild Turkey or whatever, grab yourself some Knob Creek. This stuff's damn fine whiskey. Well, that's it from me, guys. So I hope you enjoyed my whiskey review. If you have any comments or anything like that, please throw it in the comments section below. If you enjoyed my video, hit that thumbs up and subscribe button. Other than that, guys, I will see you for my next whiskey review. Salancha, and have a good night.